Hello everyone, welcome back to the Undercut, and today we are going to be talking about Carlos Sainz, the most underrated driver on today's F1 grid. And we're going to be talking about lining up his future options in terms of a seat, potentially a top seat, maybe not a top seat, who knows. Where will Carlos Sainz find him for the 2025 season? As we know, he is currently, fourth in the championship, I believe, but obviously he's missed a race. If he didn't miss a race, there's a good chance with Max's retirement, he'd be even leading the World Drivers' Championship at the moment with his win in Australia. So, my first question to you, Jack, is Carlos Sainz the most underrated driver on the grid?
You got to look at it as a yes, haven't you?
Really? Realistically?
Really, it has to be yes. I mean, if you did a deep dive into drivers, you could probably pick out another couple. But at the moment, he's a race winner. He's been let go by Ferrari. He's not got a seat. And he's arguably the best performer this year so far.
And we've got to remember as well, he is the first, he's the only non-Red Bull driver to win a Grand Prix since George Russell won the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2022.
Not 2022, yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know if anyone noticed, the calendar says 2024. So it's been a year and a half since that date. So the fact that Carlos Sainz is the only one to be able to achieve this, and he's done it twice as well, I think it's a testament to how good of a driver he is. And the fact that he's been let go, we can talk about that, and we have talked about that several times, but since he is the most underrated driver in the grid, or at least one of them, that then begs the question, why is he out of a seat? And will he be going to a top team next year? What are his options?
What are his options? His options are Mercedes, Red Bull, and Audi.
Let's weigh them up then. So let's start.
There is three realistic options, aren't there?
Yes, those are the three realistic options. Let's weigh him up then. Let's start with probably the most obvious one he's been linked to. Let's start with Audi. Why would he go to Audi?
Well, it's the name. Sainz's name. His dad, rallying, Audi. It's a new team, new prospect. And it just seems to mesh. Sainz, Audi.
It seems like he could be the number one driver for that team. It seems very much like Audi is the option where he can really have a car built around him. Because I want to say Sainz has always been a driver that, he's been quick enough to be a number one, but he's always had a teammate that has kind of lent more towards the car being built around them, if that makes sense.
You could argue McLaren wasn't.
Well, no, because I think that was more equal, but I think McLaren were looking at Lando as their future and Carlos not so much.
Yeah, but obviously Lando was in his rookie and that, so you don't chuck all your eggs in a rookie, do you?
No, you don't. But obviously then Charles,
Charles,
Max,
was it Hulkenberg at Renault that he had?
He was already there.
So it was built around Hulkenberg, really.
And then you obviously had Toro Rosso, where Max was the firm favourite, and Red Bull clearly made that clear by promoting Max.
They both came in together, though, didn't they? So.
They did, but Max was always the favourite. He was 100% always the favourite. Carlos has never had the opportunity to lead a team forward by himself, be the number one, be that guy at a team. And I think Audi is that
Audi
option.
Is the prospect for that, isn't it?
Audi is the opportunity, in whatever way, shape or form that comes, is the opportunity for that to happen. And he'll probably have a rookie teammate as well, or someone, whether it's Joe,
Hulkenberg, maybe.
Whether it's Joe, whether it's Hulkenberg coming in as the second driver, maybe it's Teo Pourchaire, maybe it's even Robert Schwartzman, maybe it's Oliver Behrman, who knows? You don't know. It could
Bottas.
Even if Bottas stays as a backup, who knows?
You know, that's a question. Is Sainz number one if Bottas stays?
100%. He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. You can't. I think The thing is, I think Sainz comes in to replace Bottas.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and I'm just like, why is Sainz a number one if Bottas stays there?
because Sainz is the one. Bottas has got less years left in him than Sainz.
Yeah,
Bottas.
I know he's got less years in him. What about by the way that Hamilton and Alonso are going? If Bottas can carry on till then, he's got many years.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But on like, if Bottas still like was given a race winning car like that Audi could be, and he showed the performance that he was doing in that Mercedes against Lewis Hamilton, I'm just saying, like, it could be cleared that Bottas is number one and not Sainz.
I don't think they do that. I mean, Sainz is in the prime of his career right now, and the only reason you'd bring Sainz in, the only reason Sainz would accept a contract from a team that is not clearly winning anything at the moment, is if he can be the number one leading that forward. You got to remember, he's leaving Ferrari. He's leaving Ferrari.
Well, not by his choice.
No, but it shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case by the way that he's performing.
No, it shouldn't, but it is. And Ferrari are bringing in arguably the greatest of all time. So at that point, like that's you can't argue with it, can you?
Well, I mean, there's only one man that could replace Carlos Sainz in his prime right now, and that's the greatest of all time. So
and Max,
yeah. If the Ferrari got the hands on Max, I mean, Charles and Carlos can just go. I mean, you only need one car if you've got Max Verstappen. Yeah. He wins the constructors championship by himself. But no. Yeah, I think Audi's the most obvious option, but I think he's got to lead that team forward. I think if Bottas stays, I think Bottas is going to have to play second fiddle, or else Sainz isn't going. Because it's as simple as he's in the prime of his career, and this is something we'll talk about now. He's in the prime of his career, and he's gonna want to be winning stuff as he is doing at Ferrari, because he's not getting any younger. Remember, he's one of the older ones on the grid now. So Audi has got to be locked in. He's got to lead that team forward from day one. He's got to be the number one there.
Yeah, he could be number one. You got to remember when Bottas was at Mercedes, he was second fiddle to Lewis Hamilton. He's still putting banging performances.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying Bottas couldn't. I'm just saying.
Wins poles. I mean, Sainz has been brought in to be number one at Audi. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Sainz been brought in number one at Audi, right? Bottas is number two at Audi. What if Bottas starts outperforming Sainz?
Well, that's a bridge you have to cross when you get to it. But
I mean, it's no Charles, it's no Lewis, it's no Max. But Bottas over a season in a top tier car. I'm just saying, like, not many drivers can do it.
It wouldn't happen. There's no way. There's no way it wouldn't.
I'm just saying.
There's no way it wouldn't. But if it did, I mean, that's a bridge you have to cross when you get to it. The next option, obviously, and I think probably the one that people are most hoping becomes true, is Mercedes.
Yeah.
Because this seems kind of the middle ground between Red Bull and Audi. Audi obviously are going to be a smaller team, not really winning much. Red Bull are obviously there. If he gets in the Red Bull, he will be winning straight away. But Mercedes seem the middle ground, where it seems not entirely out the possibility that he could go there, whereas Audi, it seems like it's pretty much nailed on. Red Bull seems less likely. But Mercedes is that middle ground where it seems like there's the chance, but they're not quite there, but they're also not a million miles off either. So it's that perfect middle ground that I think Sainz could maybe come in, partner with George Russell, and lead that team forward. What do you think about him going to Mercedes?
I think Mercedes is the least likely of the three.
Really?
Yeah.
But no, I'm not talking about in terms of your opinion, right? I'm talking about objectively. There's a space at Mercedes.
I think Sainz is Mercedes' fourth choice.
Fourth?
Yeah.
No. That's your opinion, though. What I'm saying is, objectively, Mercedes is more likely than Red Bull because there's an available seat. Red Bull currently there's 2 seats nailed on. There's more than likely going to be 2 seats nailed on with both drivers performing.
Both Red Bull seats are up in the air.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there is a confirmed vacancy at Mercedes.
Yeah,
There isn't a confirmed. There isn't at Red Bull.
There's a confirmed vacancy at Mercedes, but you've got to think logically about what news has come out about that vacancy at Mercedes.
Yeah, but
Toto's always talking about Max and Antonelli. I mean, there's two straight off the bat that are beating SAINZ. That's not opinion. That's pretty much fact with what Toto's come out and said.
You say that's the key word, pretty much fact. It is fact that there is a vacancy at Mercedes.
It is fact there's a vacancy at Mercedes.
It's not pretty much, there is.
I don't think SAINZ is in a running for it.
That's your opinion, though. But what I'm saying is
I
Mercedes.
know it's my opinion.
Mercedes is that middle ground.
With the news that's come out, yeah, there could be a seat at all the bloody teams. But if the team principal is coming out saying about other drivers constantly and not even mentioning your name, do you have a chance at that team?
Well, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's.
This is what I'm saying to you. No.
No, but in my opinion, I believe that. No, I believe the same as you. I think it's probably. I don't think. Come 2025. Come 2025, I don't think we're going to see SAINZ at Mercedes. I don't think we will. But in terms of the options he has, objectively, at the moment, as the recording of this video, it is the middle ground. Because there is a confirmed vacancy there. Where if he called Toto Wolff up, and said, I want to come to Mercedes, I'm pretty sure he'd be the top of Toto Wolff's list, barring anything happening to Max Verstappen at Red Bull, which isn't confirmed yet.
I don't think he would be at the top of the list. I think...
Do you not think so?
Max, Alonso, and Antonelli are the three that are above him.
Okay, here's the thing that I ponder with that, right? Max Verstappen I get, but Max Verstappen isn't confirmed to be leaving. So you can't... we're dealing with absolutes here. We're not dealing with assumption, right? So Max Verstappen is an assumption. So we can rule him out at the moment.
But he's a pretty heavy assumption with what Toto's been saying for the past 3-4 weeks.
He is, but Max is the one where, yes, of course, you take Max Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
But do you really think that they would take? Now, this is a question. This is a question on performance now, right? Would you take Alonso or Antonelli over Carlos Sainz in that Mercedes seat?
Only questionable one out of them two is Antonelli over Sainz.
Okay, then. So I think
I'm taking Alonso.
So I'd probably take Sainz over Antonelli only because I think Sainz is.
Yeah, I'd probably choose Sainz over Antonelli. I mean, if Antonelli has an absolute screamer for the remaining of this F2 season.
Yeah, that's a different story. That's something we have to revisit.
Antonelli's purely performance based, whereas Max and Alonso have proven.
But what I'm saying is like, yes, Sainz right now in a constructors' championship battle, Sainz is more likely to win you that battle, really.
Alonso.
So no, with Antonelli. Obviously, we haven't seen Antonelli, so we don't know. You can't make that.
Yeah, it's Sainz over Antonelli. Yeah, but
so Sainz,
in terms of what I think Mercedes are thinking, I think it's Antonelli over Sainz.
Sainz versus Alonso, then.
It's Alonso.
Really, you think Alonso? Is that because you think maybe it's 1 or 2 years rather than Sainz is going to want to be there for 5 years and then
Sainz will want to be there
comes
for 5. Alonso, you can get away with 1-2 years and then bring in Antonelli.
Okay, that's fair.
And the fact that you're losing Lewis Hamilton, such an experienced, know how to set the car, everything. Your most logical swap to put into a Lewis Hamilton brain is Fernando Alonso.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair. When you look at it like that, it does make a lot of sense that maybe Mercedes don't want to commit to another driver like they are to George Russell, because Russell's in there for a while.
That was the thing with why Lewis Hamilton didn't sign back with Mercedes for so long, because they only wanted to give him 1 year plus 1 extension.
Yeah.
And Lewis wanted 2-year guarantee plus a 1 extension.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is why he left. That's why he left.
So Mercedes don't want to commit to a Carlos. Like Carlos, if he went there, I think he'd only be on a 1 year plus 1 extension, because I think Mercedes always have in the head Antonelli. and that's not good for Sainz. Sainz needs at least 3 years contract.
That's fair enough. I didn't think about it like that. That's fair enough. Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, there is a vacancy there, but
Alonso's. Let's be real. He's got to retire in the next couple of years. Sure.
Well, I mean, we've been saying that for the last 10 years. With Fernando
I know, but like realistically, he will. He's what, 41?
No, he's like 43, isn't he?
Is he 43? Oh, that's not, is he?
I swear he's pushing mid-40s.
I'm Googling right now, though.
You know what? I thought he's 43.
Give me his age, man. Why has it gone to Abbas Attar? Who the hell is Abbas Attar?
Not Fernando Alonso, by the sounds of it.
He's
Abbas
42.
Attar. He's 42.
He's 42.
Damn, okay. So, yeah, he is. He's getting old.
Born on the 29th of July. So he'll be 43 this year.
Yeah, he'll be 43 when the season finishes. And he's definitely not retiring this season. So he'll be 44 at the very least before he retires.
44 with 1 year at Mercedes. He could have 2 years at Mercedes, which would make him 45, which is perfect time to then bring in Antonelli after 2 years at Williams.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what Mercedes are lining up, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? They have the option of Antonelli, they have the option of Fernando, and obviously they have the option of Sainz with how well he's doing
Max.
as well. Well, Max is a speculative thing. We don't want to get too caught up on Max.
Speculative.
No, it's not. I mean, if I'm Max Verstappen, right, I'd rather be at Red Bull, to be honest with you. If I'm Fernando Alonso, Mercedes seems like my more appealing option than Aston Martin.
Well, the question is with Max, though, as well. Obviously, it was a couple of years ago, but he did come out and say he doesn't see himself being in F1 a lot longer, like for the length of Lewis and Max and that.
No, he didn't, did he? He said he wasn't bothered about breaking the championship record, didn't he?
No, he's not bothered about like how old is Max now? Like how long has he been in F1? Ages now.
He's been in F1 for 9 years.
And he's 26.
Yeah. So if he went to how old Fernando's going to be when he retires, he'd be here for another 18 years.
Yeah, no chance.
Which, by the way, if Max has any form of, while he's in his prime at least, let's say until he's 35, which is where people usually start to take that decline. I mean, Hamilton didn't, but we're giving Max the very big benefit of the doubt that he's going to fall. We're going to play devil's advocate and say that he falls off after he's 35. If he has any car that is anywhere near as quick as he's got this year or last year or even 2022 or even 2021, man could genuinely be a 15-time world champion if he goes as long as Fernando. Like, he actually could. It is mental. So I do hope he retires, just purely off the basis that I want someone else to win the championship.
I mean, it could potentially. Like, you look at it. What Fernando? Well, Lewis for sure came into F1 at 23.
Yeah.
Did Fernando must have been around early?
Fernando was 22 because Fernando was the youngest driver to enter F1.
22, and then he was 23 that year in July.
And then Seb broke the record when he entered.
Yeah. Max was.
Wait. No, that was world champion. Sorry, no. Fernando was the youngest world champion. Then Seb broke that, and then Max broke that. Yeah.
Max was 17.
He was
16, 17.
I believe he was 17 when he started in Toro Rosso. He was 18 and a few days old when he won the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah. So do you think because I don't know, like Lewis and Fernando started F1 a few years, 6 years older.
A very long time.
They could go longer. Do you think Max starting so young might mean that he retires younger?
Yeah, and I think that's what he was alluding to.
Like a Wayne Rooney.
I think that's what he was alluding to because I think physically, I think Max could go as long as them. I mean, that's just biology, right? That's not anything to do with but mentally, the mental game, the mental strain from such a young age as well. We got to remember to go.
By the time he's
that long.
32, he's been in the sport 15 years.
Yeah, he's probably going to call it quits. And the thing is, he might even have 7 championships by then. I mean, if it goes any way it's going at the moment, he very much will. So it's like there'd be no reason for him to stay. But either way, we're getting sidetracked. The king of sidetracks we are. Carlos Sainz, obviously, talking to Red Bull, talking to Max Verstappen. Red Bull is the last out of the big 3 options that he has. Red Bull, is Red Bull, it seems to me, it seems looking at the map of where Sainz could go. Audi is the most likely, Mercedes is the middle ground. I feel like Red Bull's the most kind of fantasy land option, most unlikely. But it's not out the question, or else because we wouldn't be talking about it.
Well, I don't think it's definitely not out of the question, because Horner came out, didn't he, after Australia, saying, look, Sainz is on our shortlist.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the vacancies that Red Bull have at the moment, if Perez keeps performing, and if Lawson is waiting in the wings...
Yeah, but did Perez perform in Australia?
No, he didn't. But over the season so far, there's been no cause for concern with Perez at the moment. But obviously, early days.
Two out of 3 races.
What I'm saying is there's no cause for concern at the moment with Perez. Obviously, Max, if he stays, no chance. Ricardo
you do keep saying over the course of the season we've had 3 races.
Yeah, I know.
Two of them he's done okay.
This is why it's up in the air. This is why I'm saying, if you're saying, oh well, Perez could do bad, and then Carlos comes in, I'm like, well, you've got to give it the same. It doesn't just go one way. You've got to look at it the other way. You got to say, well, what if Perez does perform over the season, right?
Yeah.
So it's very much at the moment. There's not a vacancy there, right? If Perez performs, they're not going to get rid of him. He knows the team. He knows the car. He knows the team principal. He knows everything, right?
There isn't a vacancy.
You also have Lawson waiting in the wings. You've got Yuki Tsunoda. If he cleans up his act, Helmut Marko said he could get a chance. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo is Horner's golden boy. There's many drivers waiting there. Now, if things do go haywire, and many things could at Red Bull, as we've discussed over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
If Horner leaves, that's Ricciardo gone. If Helmut leaves, that's Max gone. If Perez underperforms, that's him gone. If Yuki doesn't clean up his act, he's never getting a chance. If Lawson doesn't get a seat in RB in the next year, the likelihood is he's probably not going to Red Bull anytime soon. If any of those things happen, Carlos Sainz is definitely within a shout. Now,
and that's a lot of things that could happen.
It's a lot of things that could go wrong. so
Red Bull have a lot of things.
They do. So yeah, okay. What do you think is the likelihood that one of those things allows Carlos Sainz just a little sniff in at Red Bull?
Quite high.
And if he does, okay, let's paint the picture. Carlos Sainz in a Red Bull outfit next year. Who is his teammate? Because it could be any one of them. It could be any one of those drivers. It could be anyone. You gotta pick your scenario here. Which one is it?
Max.
You really? You think you think the most likely option then, if Sainz is to go to Red Bull, is that he replaces Perez?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the likelihood that Sainz goes in to replace Max? Less likely?
Goes.
Yeah. Who is his teammate then? Is it Perez or is it someone else?
Ricciardo.
Damn, okay. Alright. I see you.
I'm giving Perez no chance.
Yeah, Perez has just got no chance in your head. Jeez. I have to calm you down on Perez sometimes. You were saying earlier, like, oh yeah, over the course of the season, like, calm down, right? He's a good driver, okay? Leave the man alone. Cut him some slack.
The thing is with Perez, I think he would have had a better championship if he was at Aston Martin.
I agree, yeah. I mean, the expectations aren't as high, are they? Either, so...
No, but I think he would have done better than Alonso did.
What?
At Aston Martin last year.
Really?
Yeah, I think Perez's best quality is obviously his tyre saving. And the fact that if you look at him in a midfield team, he can extract every ounce of performance out of that midfield car. all the time. We saw it at Force India the whole time. Yeah? Put him in a top-tier team. It seems like there's always that better driver, like McLaren at Jenson Button. There's always that better driver that can extract more. He doesn't seem to reach the peak of that car's performance. Is that down to the team building their car around the other driver? I don't know.
Probably.
Perez just seems to be a better driver when he is in a midfield car and he can literally push it right to the edge. He doesn't seem to be able to push a car to the edge when he's at a top team.
It's probably because... It's probably an array of things, and we're just assuming here, but it's probably got something to do with the fact that his driving style maybe... Well, we know now, based on what we've seen in that Red Bull, Adrian Newey and designers can design a car that goes faster when it's twitchier. But you have to have the capabilities to be able to push the car to its limits when it's got that twitchiness about it.
Yeah.
I.e. Max Verstappen, right? As the prime example of that, as Alex Albon explained in an interview. So when Perez has a more stable car built around him, he can push that to its limits. But obviously that's never going to be as quick as Max in a twitchy car, for example. So that's why he can't compete with Max maybe as much as he probably should do, but he can't. That's fair enough. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
That was just my view on Perez, to be honest.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, he's been catching strays from you on Instagram for the last 4 months. So, bro, the amount of shorts that we've got up on Instagram with you just slagging Perez off is unfathomable. Perez and Russell, both of them. Why are they catching strays from you? What's going on? Okay then. So we've discussed the three options. What is the most likely one for you? Okay, what's the most likely one for you, and where do you want him to go? That's my question.
Audi.
You want him to go to Audi, or he's the most likely one?
Both.
You want him, and you think it's the most likely?
Yeah.
Okay. My opinion is, I believe the most likely option, looking at it as objectively as humanly possible. Obviously, you can't ever say yes or no 100% when it's not happened. But I believe, looking at it with my brain, he will go to Audi. But I don't want him to, because I think Carlos Sainz will want to win, which is why in my heart, I would want him to go to Red Bull. My heart says Red Bull. My brain says Audi. I could just see... I mean, Audi's got it written all over it, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
So. But anyway, yeah, that's it for our Carlos Sainz video, our deep dive on Sainz, and maybe, 5 to 10 minutes of very big deviation to Max Verstappen and
Perez slander.
Other things. Perez slander. Yeah. But make sure to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed, hit the post notifications bell, and make sure to join us for the podcast on Monday. I keep thinking we do the podcast on Sunday still. That's a problem. But yeah, we'll see you in a bit.